there's always been this talk about women being hypergamous in nature. And this conversation, I think it has increased a lot in today's relationship space. Like everyone is just saying, ah, women are hypergamous, women like rich men, women like money. And like we all know, hypergamy means like wanting someone who is doing way better than you, or someone who is higher than you, like wanting someone who has a higher status, who is better than you. Even in the social media space, like if a man chats up a woman, as much as we would like to deny, um the chances of that woman replying your text or even accepting your request has to do about how she perceives you, status wise. Why do I say so? Like the woman most times would go through your profile picture and see your pictures, and by that way she can actually ascertain or predict or assume how good you're doing in life, or if you're actually doing better than her. And most times she would reply you when she feels like you have a higher status than her. And is this actually a bad thing? I would say no, because hypergamy didn't just start now. This has always been since time memorial. Like if you look at the Bible, um, most women who were very beautiful were married to kings, and you understand, men who had status. And if you look at the story of Esther, they said the maidens who were really beautiful were the ones who were brought before the king. And it's clear, like as much as we want to deny it, a woman's value comes from her looks. Like if a woman is very beautiful, she would actually have more suitors than people who are average looking or not as good as the very good looking women. And so for a woman, status comes from looks, while for a man, status comes from actually his ability to protect the woman, because he all deals with protection. In the past, it wasn't just money. People who were wrestlers, people who were well built, people who were kings were perceived as people who had more status than other people, and they were more respected. And that's why they actually had more women than other men. And so this conversation about hypergamy is the fact that I feel like hypergamy actually brings respect in a relationship. Like you would only respect someone that you feel is higher or superior than you, in quotes. But I know it has changed in our generation, but the fact still remains that both men and women, now I'm not talking about women, people actually respect people who they feel like are doing way better than them. If I should use myself as an example, there are so many groups now that they've added me. People who want to get married, just you just wake up and see they've added you on this group for contribution and the rest. And the funny part is I had people I was very close with. When I was not doing well in life, they never added me for their groomsmen. Nobody ever asked me, oh, can you come and be a groomsman for me? Can you do? Because they perceived that I was not going to be able to financially contribute enough for them. So they actually added friends that they felt were doing well in life, which is normal. And I even had friends who we were very close, but I could see that there's a way that they treated you, because there's a kind of respect they gave to you, because they felt like you were not financially capable enough for them to include you in everything they did. For example, like when I had a guy I was very close to, I knew, I like, you would observe, you're a human being, that he would want to avoid me when he was going to some certain places. Like if he was going to the bar, or he was going to the club, or somewhere that has to do with spending money, he would not go with me. He would rather prefer we go to a wedding where it does not entail you spending money. And it's all because he would even go with people who he wasn't really close to, but he knew they were financially capable of actually footing the bills in the bar or in the club. This always happened. Like I observed that I rarely went out with him because he was always trying to avoid me going out with him to these certain places. And this is a man and a man. And even in relationship, if you want to be honest, yes, amongst parents, once a child gets of age or they get to the stage where they are presumed to become financially independent and they are still at home, there's a level of respect that the parents accord to these people. Like, you notice that the parents no longer respect them or value them just because they feel like these people are not financially capable. Now, how would you now want to paint women as wicked people because this same thing your parents, your friends, everyone does, men even do it? Then you want to tag a woman as being evil because she wants someone who is doing way better than her. And if I am being honest, if I should advise a woman, I would advise women to actually go for men who are way ahead of them in life. Because the thing is, the core thing that a man wants is respect, while the core thing that a woman wants is love. And respect is not demanded, respect is earned. You understand? But love can be demanded. Like, you can demand love from people, but you can't demand respect from people. Respect is always earned, especially in terms of relationship. Now, if imagine that as a woman, she's the one who has to provide food, she has to provide clothing, she has to provide shelter. In fact, she is the provider of the home. How can she respect you? You understand? So when it deals with the core of a relationship, in fact, I tell women, if you can't respect a man, there's no need going into that relationship, because from the day one, that relationship has failed. Like, you need to be able to respect a man before you accept it. If you know that, and the same thing vice versa, if I speak with a girl, I can tell a girl who would respect me, especially girls who have, that's why it's kind of difficult for women who have achieved more, because they find it difficult. It is subconsciously to submit to a man who they are doing way better than. Most times it is even better when both of you are par, like both of you are of almost equal status. But it is always difficult to actually respect a man that you are doing way better. And so, for the relationships to thrive, I feel like hypergamy is needed in relationships. And it is needed that the man is supposed to be the one who's supposed to be doing better. It's just common sense. And we should stop all this bashing or calling women malicious and making them feel like they are evil for wanting a man who does better than them. Of course, women are supposed to want men who do better than them for them to be able to respect these men. I don't know if you get. But cheers, guys.